Please be seated. My good friends, peace and grace to you today. We gather here today in love, in memory, in sacred tenderness that we share this grief. Whether your family or lifelong friends, neighbors, or just part of the community, your presence here speaks of the impact of this precious life had on each of you. So today we hold space for the sorrow, but also for the gratitude. The sorrow because Jubi, who we love, is no longer with us the way we wished he was. But the gratitude because his life touched ours deeply and it continues to last. So today we begin with a celebration of his life. So may this place be where stories are honored and tears are welcome and comfort is shared. May we feel the God of our understanding near to us to strengthen one another. And the promise that love is stronger than death, that love is stronger than death, that love is stronger than death. So I thank you for being here today. And let us just take a breath. And let us begin together. Would you pray with me, please? Open and gracious God, we come before you today carrying hearts that are heavy with the loss. But God, we are filled with gratitude for the gift, the life that blessed us, the love that was given. And so in this sacred hour, wrap us up in your peace, hold us steady when the waves of grief rise. Speak to us in the quiet places of our heart. Remind us that you are near and that you bind the wounds of those who mourn. Dear God, we thank you for the memories that will never, ever leave us, the love that has shaped us, and for the promise that nothing, even death, can separate us from your endless love. Grant us comfort today. Grant us strength, courage to face the days ahead. God, we ask may this service be filled with tenderness and honesty and healing in the presence of your Spirit. We ask this in your name. Amen. So within the Jewish faith, when someone passes away, they sit Shiva. And the idea is that you come with family and friends and you sit. And maybe you just sit and think. Maybe you cry. Maybe you eat. Maybe you just laugh and tell stories. But we come together as a community to experience this. And only in community can we be healed like this. So Paulo, would you come up?
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence, your love for Jubi, and your incredible support for our family means more than words can say. Jubi would be so thankful to see all this love. And please know that he loves you all dearly too. Thank you.
Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Psalm 46, 1 and 2.
So we have a moment of open reflections. This is a reflection of his childhood. And it's on a video, so please. Okay. So we're having an issue with that. Okay, I understand. If you could see what I'm looking at, which is back there, the AV people going, it's not working, it's not working. So we're going to go ahead and go. Could I get Judy up here, who is a friend? Judy Sheehan. Thank you.
I think Jubi would appreciate the improvisation. So, my name's Judy Sheehan. I met Jubi when we were in our 20s as young professionals at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. So, doing the math, I've known Jubi for over 30 years. After he left the conference, I was in a bit of a bind, and I had to get a federal grant done. And Jubi was a consultant, and I said, would you be willing to work for me for a few months? He saved my butt, and it registered with me on how I would like to work with him more often. And so I had an opportunity for him to take over the management of our solid waste affiliate of the Conference of Mayors. And I remember the first thing he said to me, he's like, Judy, I don't know anything about garbage. Because literally that is what we're dealing with, is garbage and recycling. And I said, come up to Baltimore, see a meeting, and let's talk. And afterward he said, and he asked some very insightful questions, and he's like, Judy, I still don't know anything about garbage. And I said, you don't have to. I said, the experts are in the room. I just need someone who's intellectually curious, who's a good communicator, and that I trust. And you fit the bill. So we worked together for over 15 years, side by side. And even this last meeting that we pulled together, and we know he wasn't feeling well, but he was on every conference call, every briefing. And I talked to Paulo afterwards, and I said, I feel so awful that we were dealing with work. And he's like, no, it gave him purpose. It gave him distraction. And he didn't want to leave you and Cassidy in a bind. And so he was very determined to see us through it. And that's who he was. So, but I remember our last phone call, and it was a debriefing, and that night he went to the hospital, and then a few days later we got the bad news. And I said, I don't want my last conversation with Jubi to be about work. And I know I wrote to Paulo and said, please tell him I love him. And he's like, he loves you back. And I'm like, thank you. But I wanted to write a letter to him, because I think too often we have these memorial services after the fact and not let a person know how much they mean to you while they're still alive. So I wanted to share the letter I wrote. Dear Jubi, I just want to share with you some of my thoughts of what you mean to me. When we first met, I was so impressed, and to be honest, a little intimidated with your intelligence and beautiful way of communicating through your writing, your speaking style, and your amazing voice. You commanded any room you were in, and people would stop and listen to whatever you had to say, including me. You are smart, thoughtful, strategic, and intellectually curious, which I absolutely adored. Through the years, my admiration for you continued to grow. I am so happy that we were able to work with each other so closely over the past decade. I enjoyed being partners in crime with you for the MWMA, the American Beverage Association, and even a couple of ridiculous projects we found ourselves doing together. It was so reassuring to have you as part of the team, to bounce ideas off each other and to face the difficult as well as happy times together. You were my rock of reality and so reassuring when I needed it. I was always extremely grateful for you being there for me through it all. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention how much your poetry moved me. As I mentioned to you previously, your first book absolutely blew me away. It was so beautifully written and so deeply personal. I felt like I got a teeny glimpse into your inner thoughts and emotions, and it touched my soul. I want to thank you for being so brave, so open, so vulnerable, and for sharing your gift with the world. And your relationship with dear sweet Paulo was lovely to experience. The love you two share was so wonderful to watch, to see how you supported each other, looked out for each other, and deeply cared for each other always made me smile, even if we occasionally got into some trouble at the MWMA meetings. And you know what I'm talking about, Paulo. You have touched so many lives, including mine, in such a positive way, and I wanted you to know that. I don't believe in endings, just different paths, taken at different times. I firmly believe that you and I will meet again. Please just don't be too cool and not acknowledge me when that happens. I need to have at least one cool friend in heaven. Thank you for being my colleague and friend over the past 3 decades. You mean the world to me, and I'm so grateful that you are part of my life, and you will forever be part of mine. You've made a difference in my life just by being in it, and I'm a better person and a richer person for knowing you. I will love you always, my friend, till we meet again. Judy. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Gina. Welcome. I stand here before you today to celebrate the life of my phenomenal brother, Jubi. For 56 years, I had the privilege and the pleasure of being his older sister, and I want to share a little bit of that Jubi that I know with you here today. Jubi was a loving, brilliant, amazing, and kind soul who brought so much joy to everyone around him. He loved life, he loved the ocean, and most profoundly, he loved his family. His nieces and nephews absolutely adored him, and there was really a moment that he wasn't planning adventures to bring their joy into their lives. Jubi had a magnetic personality and an infectious laugh. And for any of those of you who ever heard him laugh, you know what I mean. His laugh could fill any room, especially when a good joke was told. Let me just share one of my favorite childhood memories that encapsulates Jubi's honesty and delightful innocence with you. It took place in our beautiful Caribbean ancestral island of Barbados. My sister Judy, my little brother Rick, our mom, Jubi, and of course myself, we were all traveling on a bus. Jubi sat by the window, as he so often did anytime we were traveling. His eyes darted from sign to billboard, back and forth, reading everything he saw in sight, as he so often did. Only when he exclaimed out loud to my mother, "Mummy, Mummy, the Barbadians can't spell. They spelled color wrong. They spelled it with a U, C-O-L-O-U-R. The entire bus erupted in laughter. My poor mom was so embarrassed. She did her best to explain that color, spelled C-O-L-O-U-R, was the English British way that we spelt it here in Barbados. The surprised and confused look on Jubi's little face was unforgettable. Looking at his face, it looked almost like he was saying, "You're kidding, right?" That love of words and reading was just the beginning of his journey. It was and should always have been. It should come to no surprise then that he would later write, proofread my resumes over the years, as well as review and critique my son's college essays. He loved sharing and publishing his own poetry, which I believe was one of his greatest achievements. His passion for writing and education was immense, as he instilled that love for his language and learning in everyone that he met around him. Jubi also made it his personal mission to ensure that all of his nieces and nephews knew each other well. He and Paulo would bring them from across whatever state they were in, to Massachusetts. Planning family dinners, trips to beaches, museums, restaurants, all in the interest of family and love. The tremendous impact that Jubi had on all our lives is immeasurable. His kindness, his laughter, and ability to bring others together are what I will miss most about him. I will miss also that familiar voice asking me, Gina, did you make black cake? Especially at Christmas time. For those of you who might not know, or those of you who might, black cake is a Caribbean specialty, a cake that's made of like fruit that's put up in rums. He loved it. Especially at Christmas time when he loved to indulge in Caribbean cake, ham, all of the Barbadian cultural foods. I will also miss Carly, my granddaughter, dragging him and Paulo to the park for walks, chasing him and Paulo around the lawn on warm summer's evenings at my mom's house whenever they visit in Boston. He was fully loved. He loved deeply and gave everything he had to people around him. I want him to be remembered for the love of the life that he loved. His love for others, his love for the ocean, and his passion for poetry and words. He had a unique gift of weaving stories and emotions into verses that spoke to the soul. Jubi's spirit will forever resonate in us. His words will carry on his vibrant legacy. Jubi Jr., you are more, and you are more than a brother to me. You are a friend, a mentor, a beacon of love, and a light in our lives. Your laughter, your warmth, and kindness have left a mark that time cannot erase. Though you're no longer with us, your spirit will continue to inspire and guide us all. You will forever be missed and cherished in our hearts. Rest in peace, my little brother. I will miss you. That familiar voice that you did so well, always putting me in check whenever I needed to be. Until we meet again, I love you.
I first met Jubi Headley in the spring of 1992 in the mayor's office in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in Cambridge City Hall. I was the newly elected first black mayor in Massachusetts and first black openly gay mayor in the US. And Jubi and a group of 3 other men came to meet me about organizing an initiative to help to save the lives of black gay men in the midst of the AIDS pandemic. In that meeting, I knew that this one special man who spoke so eloquently and had prepared so well the substance of the meeting was someone special. And so I did a terrible thing. Immediately after the meeting, I called him up and I said, I want to hire you. And this was hiring him away from this nascent group. And I felt guilty, but I was able to lend him back to them as we were able to form the Men of Color Against AIDS, or MOCA, in Massachusetts. But I have known Jubi Lo these 30-some years, and there have been wonderful years. We've traveled to Africa together, to Ghana, to Ivory Coast, Togo, to Benin. He has introduced me to Washington, D.C. and all that is Black and excellent and gay and male. And I'm told he thought of me as a mentor. The thing I really was is somebody who fully understood that he didn't know anything about his beauty until recently. This emergence of Jubi as a Black gay poet represents the real flowering of a human being who found his voice and he spoke fire. And so I join all of you in the deep sadness of this moment.